YouTubers are complaining, nothing new there. Apparently, as always, something really fishy is going on with the YouTube algorithm. All of this lot are saying that their YouTube Shorts views are being limited and affecting the views coming into their long-form content. Could it be true? Well, let's find out. Let's uncover why you're feeling that way. Let's have a look at everything we know about the YouTube Shorts algorithm. And, most importantly, what should you do about it? So I think we'll all admit that the YouTube Shorts journey so far can be best described as turbulent. The algorithm has been, at best, unpredictable because it's changed so much in the last couple of years. However, none of us can deny nor escape that YouTube Shorts are booming. YouTube won't ever admit it, but they were late to this particular video party, short form vertical clips. Instagram and in particular TikTok have caused massive disruption with the industry. But YouTube, to their credit, have recovered fast and very successfully. Just 18 months after its official launch, YouTube claims that there are now 1.5 billion Shorts users. And I still can't quite believe this figure, 50 billion Shorts views every single day. Now, if that number is to be believed, that would be the equivalent of every single person on the planet doing this 8 times a day. Now, YouTube, I don't believe you. Regardless of the stats, YouTube Shorts are definitely here to stay. They still present a fantastic opportunity for quick growth and questionable opportunities to make money, at least now. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But I think it is fair to say that generally speaking, for most creators, YouTube tends to be more generous with their payouts to creators. I'm sure there'll be some raging in the comments right now, but underneath this layer of growth and successful YouTube Shorts creator stories, there's the usual struggle and strife. The official line, according to YouTube, is that creators who produce both shorts and long-form videos see better overall watch time and subscriber growth compared to those producing only long-form format videos. And this would ring true with these creators whose views have increased dramatically since focusing on YouTube Shorts. And at the top of the YouTube Shorts mountain, we have outliers such as the pink shirt couple, who literally gathered in 9.5 million fans from Shorts in around about 3 months. But what about the flip side of the experience, when you don't handpick the very best examples of YouTube Shorts creators? We're talking about the rank and file of YouTube here, the communities, Reddit. Yeah, the experiences on there are somewhat polarizing. One of the biggest issues we've seen so far, and I'm hoping this is just a temporary bug, is there are a considerable amount of complaints about people uploading Shorts and literally getting 0 views and absolutely no engagement, even though they've already uploaded videos in the past with views and maybe have a few hundred subscribers. Now, remember, when it comes to YouTube Shorts, viewers typically don't have a choice. They don't have a bundle of titles and thumbnails to pick from. A viewer goes onto the Shorts feed and YouTube serves up what it thinks a viewer may want to watch next. But if your short is literally getting 0 views, that means that YouTube is literally not giving your short a chance. However, there is a solution to that, although it's a little bit bonkers.
If your YouTube short is stuck at 1 view, here's a little trick you can try. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is re-upload the clip onto YouTube. So the video with 1 view, I'm actually just going to make it unlisted for now. Alright, I'm making the new video public, so let's see what happens. So it's a day later and we're at 176 views as opposed to being stuck at 1.
YouTube's working properly. That shouldn't really happen, should it? Still, if you've had success doing that, let us know in the comments below. Next, we have a far more common phenomenon, which are viewer waves, which makes the YouTube Shorts algorithm look somewhat basic and exploitable. It sometimes looks like Shorts go through 2 cycles. The first round is where the algorithm tries to figure out the value of the content to determine if it's worth pushing and check if it could go viral. If your audience engages, in the second cycle, your video will be pushed out to a much wider audience and they might enjoy the content. I even coined a phrase for this weird algorithm called the Shorts Surge, and I challenged myself to say that fast 10 times and I nearly broke my teeth and my tongue. And then we have a humankind creator problem. Viewer revolt. There are YouTube educators like myself telling you to explore YouTube Shorts, but they are killing your channel because your viewers hate Shorts being shoved down their throats. But remember YouTube's official line, creators who produce longs and shorts see better performance on their long-form content as well. And to hammer home the success of Shorts, out of the top 10 most viewed US YouTube channels, 8 are Shorts channels, some of which are getting 350 million views a week. As we dig deeper into this, the messaging gets really unclear, doesn't it? Should I make YouTube Shorts or not? How are they going to affect my channel? And I guess the reason we still have to ask this is because last year, YouTube did actually acknowledge they had a problem with the YouTube Shorts algorithm.
When the algorithm saw a viewer, oh, look, the last 200 videos this viewer watched were all under a minute. This viewer is like, they only want to watch short videos, and so it basically stopped recommending those viewers long-form content. The algorithm doesn't know how to handle shorts and treat that the right way, so we're going to split off the history for the viewers. So when a viewer goes into the main YouTube, we're going to not pay attention to what shorts they watch because we don't want the algorithm to get the wrong idea.
As a part of the growing pains of shorts, YouTube had to employ that quick fix last year. So for a period of time, the success of your shorts was having no impact on your long form content. But since then, YouTube has reversed that algorithmic temporary fix. But having said that, we still see consistently of examples where people are getting tons of views on shorts and they just do not translate into their long form content on the same channel. Now, as an anecdote, we can give you vidIQ's experiences of shorts combined with longs. To date, we haven't had that much success with shorts, about 15 to 20,000 views per short, and then they tend to die away. Our long form videos consistently get more views than shorts, which I appreciate, sounds a little weird. But since we started posting 4 YouTube Shorts a week, combined with 2 or 3 long form videos, the performance of our long form videos has increased. Is our long form content doing better because we post shorts? I doubt it. I just think the quality of our long form videos has improved. Now let's talk about YouTube's biggest rival to short form content, a platform that might not even exist in 12 months' time. Why is it that some creators see tons more views on TikTok with exactly the same content, but when they put onto YouTube Shorts, don't perform at all? We've even had this happen with one of our colleagues here at vidIQ. Hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok and Instagram and barely anything on Shorts. Well, the simple answer is the algorithms are different. Viewers' watching habits on different platforms is obviously different, which means that the discovery engines behind those platforms are different, and YouTube Shorts is just another one of those platforms. But here's where YouTube differs to potentially your advantage, even with short form content. YouTube remains the second largest search engine on the internet, and I believe they are trying to incorporate search into YouTube Shorts. We've experienced it ourselves. Some of our YouTube Shorts do get traffic from search. So if you're an education / how-to / solution-based channel, there is still hope for you when it comes to shorts. Listen, we get it. The cherry-picked success stories that YouTube shows us in the media would suggest that shorts is incredibly easy to be successful at. But they're not. Yes, they're quicker to make, but that doesn't make them easier to make. It requires an entirely different creative discipline. Even we are struggling with shorts right now, but we're determined to keep plugging away to make them a success for your YouTube education. And if you are completely lost and you need the complete beginner's guide to making YouTube Shorts, then you might want to start right here.